This episode of The Soulful Stir has been brought to you by Bugg Organics. Bugg Organics is a 100% Black woman-owned apothecary. Bugg Organics offers a host of 100% vegan and organic condition and body oils. Bugg Organics is known for their Tash Tonic stimulating hair growth oil. It is a 100% organic scalp oil that stimulates hair growth follicles as well as soothes the scalp. They also are known for their Mr. Beard Stuff, which is a highly sought after beard oil for the fellas, as well as their Body Slick body oils that comes in 4 different fragrances. Shop with Bugg Organics and check them out online at www.ladybug with 2 G's, so that is LADYBUGG organics.com. Also, all of their socials are Bugg Organics as well. They have a platform on Instagram as well as Facebook and would love for you to follow as well as shop. You're now tuned in to The Soulful Stir with Tash and Diamond Symoné. And we're back.
Welcome to another episode of The Soulful Stir. I'm Diamond Symoné.
And I'm Tash. It's another Sunday, another episode.
Yes, another Sunday, another episode. Thanks for tuning in with us, reporting live from the G. Tell me something good.
So I have actually a few things. As we talked about last episode, we're trying to get back in the flow of things. So I will be consistently working on this content for Trash Literature Tuesdays. But if you caught our first installment of that segment, you will be happy to know that the actual author, J.R. Chitlin, who wrote the book that I read, he actually is following us on the podcast platforms now, on TikTok and on Instagram. He had good things to say about my review, and he actually left some recommendations on like what his top selling book was and what his favorite one was to write. So those are actually going to be the next 2 that I read for the next 2 installments, just kind of out of reverence for him and just him following the pod and actually enjoying the content, because y'all know I'm me, so I didn't hold back. If you have not caught that segment, like, I was just very honest and open about it. And once again, it's supposed to be light content, but he did enjoy it, so I'm happy about that. And I'm also happy to announce that sooner than later, we will be changing the format of our episodes because we're about to get the studio together. Yeah, we finally getting to that point. It'll be done in like this week maybe, and then we're going to be trying to, switch over some things. I think the episodes will hit a lot differently when you see these faces, because sometimes it's my body language that you got to see. I keep a lot of stuff to myself because I'm just trained in going to court, but you can always look at my face and tell what I'm thinking or somewhat. And I would love for y'all to experience that too.
There's got to be interesting seeing you in court, like when people be saying like, I just know.
I've been pulled to the side so many times. Like, I've been like, that's why now when we are in deposition, I try to keep myself heavily distracted, like in a way that I'm very aware, and I'm keeping notes of what somebody's saying. Even though we have a court reporter, I'm keeping notes, but I do have a bad habit of that. And what I've learned to do, which might be a tip or a trick for some of you all, because we're in depositions in my office nowadays versus in court a lot, I keep a bottle of water and or like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with me. And when I feel like an attorney is like on bullshit, like, I start sipping. So my face has to be like on this cup, on this bottle, and you can't see like my facial expressions. Yeah. Because that's usually where it first comes out at, is because I be getting ready to say like, what the fuck? Or like, huh?
What the hell?
Yeah, like I be getting ready to say something and I have to like move my mouth a certain way. So when like I can always tell when I ask a question, like if I'm getting ready to ask a really contentious question or my coworkers are about to ask a really contentious question, I'll instantly grab my cup of coffee, like, and just put it kind of close to my face. So whatever facial expressions I'm making, you can't really tell if they're aimed at like, oh, this coffee ain't hot. You know what I'm saying? It's too hot. I try to make these expressions where like people can't really see through them a little bit. So I've been working on that. But yeah, it's really hard because everything is, listen,
I bet
it shows on my face all the time.
Well, I will share my good news. I completed my medicine making class and I learned a lot. I met some really cool people, and I think that I have potentially found my herbal mentor that I was looking for. I feel like I need a mentor in every aspect of my life. Like, I just think it's important to surround yourself with people who are more knowledgeable than you are, because that's how we grow. Iron sharpens iron. So I had a really good time. The class was hosted by Keep Growing Detroit, and it was super informative. We learned about different plants. A lot of the plants that we talked about, I was already knowledgeable of, but it expanded my knowledge of how I can maximize the use of these plants, and also how to do different extractions. And some of the language was familiar to me too, like the use of solvents and the different aspects of plants and the different families that they belong in. It was just real cool. So it's so funny. I was texting my friend that lives, and she's my personal, she lives in New York. And I said, can you guess where I'm at right now? And it was like 8:00 at night. And she said, I can't tell you what she said because the context is right there. But I was like, yeah, I was on a farm at my medicine making class. And you know what she said to me? You're never beating the witch allegations.
Listen, Mike came in the house the other day and he was like, you got your book out and highlighting and shit like you about to have a client in a few minutes. And I was like, mind your business. I'm in here minding my business. I'm trying to make some shit shake.
I'm not bothering nobody.
Leave me alone.
Don't bother me. No, that was the funniest thing like that I've seen and read this week. So shout out to Keep Growing Detroit for offering these kinds of resources to people. If you are in the Detroit area, in Wayne County, they do have a $15 membership. It's $15 a year. And you get access to these kinds of classes. They do have free classes. Like they have a chickens and ducks handling class.
I can't believe you telling these people. You were supposed to tell me this like 3 weeks ago.
About the chicken and ducks?
No, about the class, about the medicine making class.
I just finished the class.
Yes, but you were supposed to tell me about all this other stuff that you ain't tell, that you telling the world and you ain't tell me.
Okay, so
y'all see how this happened?
I'm gonna send you my notes, like, because I have a bunch of herbalism notes, not just from this class, but from
but I still
the
gotta take
other
a
class
class
that I took.
Have you ever watched you watch Players Club? That man told her, don't you take and don't you trust nobody's information but your own. I'll take your notes, but I'm going to the class too. Okay.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Remember he told Diamond that?
No, I don't.
Her professor on Players Club.
No.
He was like, what did you say? 'Cause remember, she was sleeping in class and he came and he was like, I forgot her last name. He like, Miss So-and-so. And he tapped her and he was like, how are you going to pass the final? And she's like, oh, somebody took notes. I got the notes. And she was like, well, he was like, that's not what we say. What's my motto? And she was like, don't trust nobody's information but your own. Because she was in a journalism class or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I do remember that. Hey, that's a bar though.
Yes, fact.
Yeah, I mean, I take very great notes. Now, yeah, I do feel that.
I only be telling people that. I tell people that all the time, and it's not saying that you don't take good notes. It's because my thing is, like, we're two different people. So even if we was in the same class, if they show us something, I might have some prior knowledge and be like, well, how does this go with this? And you might not have asked that question. You know what I'm saying? So
you just read my mind, because I was going to say, even though I take great notes and I'm very diligent at studying and just paying attention to all the details, there may be something that you pick up on while taking that class that I did not.
Yes.
Or something that you may be more interested in. And so you're able to ask. So, yeah, I definitely will send you the info. But the thing about it is, the class just kind of sprung up. Like they just sent out an email to members saying that this class was coming up, and then they said they had a lot of applicants, but they only chose 35 people, and I just happened to be one of those people. So yeah, and I got a bunch of stuff. Like I got some dry herbs, different dry herbs that came in my medicine kit. I have some apple cider vinegar that they gave me, a few jars. Now, I got like tons of herbs in jars in my apothecary. But the other thing that they gave us are perennials. So they gave us herbs that we can plant in the ground that will come back every year. So I have some thyme, I have some swamp rose, I have mountain mint. Like I have herbs that some of them that are new for me, and these are plants that I can just put in my the ground part of my garden. So I'm excited and I'm grateful. I'm always so grateful to have opportunities like this to just expand myself and also to meet people who are on the same path. And it also ties into mind, body, and balance for me, because it's nothing like, I posted this on my Instagram the other day. It's nothing like being able to go to my apothecary and grab something that I've made, or a tea blend, a herb that I just have, something that I've grown from my garden. It's nothing like eating from the plants that you've grown and that you've nourished and you're using to just promote better wellness full circle. It's also very peaceful. Like when I'm in my apothecary or I'm in my garden, it is so peaceful being able to make stuff and make tinctures and try the different things that you have. Try the oils that I've steeped for months and I put all this time, love, and effort into. It is nothing like being in the middle of cooking and saying, dang, I need some time.
Yeah.
Or when you asked me for rosemary that one day, I'm like, yeah, I got some rosemary. And I just go and clip it out of my garden. Like, it's just, there's no feeling like that. So I encourage people to, if you have an interest in gardening, because there definitely has to be an interest there. I understand people, they just like, no, that's not for me. But I promise you, it is so peaceful and it's so rewarding at the end of the day. So if you have an interest in this, get connected with Keep Growing Detroit. If you're in Wayne County, it's a really great resource. They also give you seedlings throughout the year. So I get seeds, I get garlic, I got potatoes starters from them, where you're able to grow your own garden and have these resources. And for $15, you really can't beat that. You also get access to mulch and compost at their different hubs, which is a big deal. And all of this comes with your membership. Like, you can't beat that. So yeah, shout out to them. Had a good time. Can't wait to connect with the people that I met. Let's jump into sound check, because I'll save my question for after.
So
I'm trying to get deep in that question, because yeah.
So I haven't listened to this yet, but I saw this. I saw a reel about this guy named Chris Crack, and he's supposed to be like a hip hop artist. And once again, I need to listen to his music because I am so unaware of like what it's about. And the reason why is because he has some very interesting song titles. So I'm going to read you these. Some of them are extremely hilarious, and the others really make you think. And I think that's why I'm so intrigued by this album. So the first one is called "You Never Met a Hater in Real Life." And I'm like, okay.
You never met a hater in real life.
Like, okay, I can get that. And then he goes, "Black women in the 90s were effortlessly beautiful." Okay. Then he says, "Why was Kelis warming up her milkshakes?"
What?
Why was Kelis warming up her milkshakes?
Dang.
"When I die, I hope people merch it on me."
They what?
Merch it on me.
What that mean?
Like sell stuff with his face on it. Like merch it. Like make merch out of it. This is a good one. "Stop taking advice from people who don't leave their comfort zone."
That's a really good one, actually.
And then it just gets crazy again. "Why you horny at the repast?" Now, this one, I know is not supposed to be funny or maybe it is supposed to be, but it got real deep when I read this one because it said the revolution will be monetized. And I think that is extremely deep in so many ways because, like with all of the social media and payment for platforms and all that kind of stuff now, I definitely feel like the revolution is being monetized. Like, I think that a lot, even when it comes to certain things like Christian influencers.
Yeah, any kind of...
Like, there's a TikTok I shared recently, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm going to get back to the song titles in a minute, but I just have to talk about this really quick. But
I'm gonna be thinking about that Kelis one for
this
a while.
guy was like, what the fuck is a Christian relationship? Like a Christian movie date? Because people have now like hashtag this like Christian TikTok or blah, blah, blah to get people to like their content and get these followers. And he like, if you a Christian, everything you do is going to be the Christian version of something. You see what I'm saying? Like, and he like, what's so different about going to the movies as a Christian? Like,
so
y'all eating the same popcorn, y'all still drinking the same pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes
I'm laughing because you just made me think of Kev on stage, and I was listening to his podcast, and they brought up a Christian BBL.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is a Christian BBL?
That's what I'm saying.
And Kev gonna say, well, in that case, you can have Christian braces.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I hate when people do that. Like, and like, I feel like they're monetizing. That? They take that and it's being monetized for clicks and likes and views because this is what they know people are gonna like.
Yeah, they're gonna gravitate
to. And so, like, instead of you really walking for Christ and living your journey, you're trying to monetize it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I don't like. But
hell,
yes, exactly.
The blue part,
exactly. Because listen, like the old folks say, God know your heart.
God, you're going to the blue part of hell.
Exactly. So, speaking of the revolution, track 9 is called "School Was Free Until Niggas Started Going." Now, I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave it there. So that's what I'm saying. They funny, but it's some real truth to this. Because the next
but
track
how was
10,
teachers getting paid?
Huh?
School is free until... Oh, you mean like higher ed?
Yes.
Because, I mean, well, all schools, technically, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah.
But my question is, how were people getting paid? Like, how were professors and teachers
I mean, you got to
paid?
think about it. Back then, a lot of those schools, until black people started going, that's when all the institutions were public. They were state funded. When they stopped segregation is when you start having private institutions pop up because they could still segregate. Those are the ones that were funded by alumni and all the other shit they were trying to keep white.
Yeah, so that's when we popped up with HBCUs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Track 10 is My Favorite Person Turned Into a Lesson. Now, that's a whole nother podcast episode on its own. Now, this is when it gets real. He said, a Dollar Tree charger changed my social security number.
I'm sorry, that shouldn't be funny. That should not be that funny.
And last but not least, Kelsey Grammer is the white Tyler Perry. Now, speaking of Tyler Perry, I know this is sound check, but y'all know I often like to talk about just cultural things, whether it be music or TV during this segment. Speaking of Tyler Perry, for y'all that don't know yet, Beauty and the Black Season 2 coming back September 11th. That's my cult favorite. That's my cult favorite show. I can't tell y'all why. Y'all know I don't do TP, but I do that show. Moving on. The other show I talked about I ain't gonna say a few episodes ago because we deep into episodes now. But back in the day, I talked about Miss Governor, the show on Netflix with Tyler Perry and Terry J. Vaughn and Mojo Books. So the second half of it just came back out. And I was watching it because I was in Atlanta and clearly I didn't have anything to do. And while the show still is lackluster as hell, I'm going to publicly say this right now because I believe my words have power. Okay? I am manifesting and I'm speaking things as the soul they should be. And I'm telling y'all right now, y'all heard it here first. I am in love with Mojo Brooks. When I say absolutely in love with him.
You like him?
he's going to be on this show one day. He's going to sit on one of these couches, and I'm just going to stare at him from across the mic. I love that man. Okay? He is so funny.
Well, slide in his DMs and see what we get.
Because
Take one for the team.
Well, I'm going to see him in September. He's coming to the soundboard, so I am going to the show.
Well, you're going to have to get a first row, like front row ticket.
No, I don't. Don't worry about me. I got it.
Oh, you know what? You do, because you do have. Okay, yeah. I won't worry about you.
I got this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
But
I'm coming too.
Like I was saying, he's going to be on this show, and I love him so much. And so this is going to not be an official stand account for Mojo Brooks. But I say all that to say that, once again, he carried that show. Like, I don't think the show would even be remotely funny without him. And you have, what's his name on it? I don't want to call this man Kyle Barker, but that's clearly his name. What's the man name from...
Who's Kyle Barker?
Girl, you don't... Kyle Barker? You and Kenya, where's y'all black cards coming from? How can I say Kyle Barker and you don't know who I'm talking about?
Kyle is black.
Kyle Barker from Living Single? Crazy.
Oh, Kyle.
Terrence C. Carson.
Why you ain't say just Kyle? I never knew his last name was
Yes,
Barker.
Kyle Barker. Girl, that's his name. But yes, Terrence T.C. Carson is in that show, and he's actually pretty funny too. But he does take a backseat role on the show. But if it wasn't for them, like they're really like literally leading that cast. I do hope to see more because the storyline is developing a little bit. But if they do away with it, I wouldn't be surprised. But yes, once again, congratulations, Mojo Brooks. You did it. I love you. Come sit on the couch with us. Hey, I know you a short king, but I'll make an exception this time.
Tash is short too, so y'all could be a short couple.
But I don't do short kings, but I do anything for Mojo.
Okay.
Weird,
okay.
Right? But y'all heard it here. He's going to be on this episode, and when I tell y'all, I am going to be fanning out. Like, we gotta have visual episodes by the time he come on the show, because baby, I want y'all to see the glisten and the sparkle in my eye,
the twinkle of your eye. What is happening?
Yes.
Why was that? Okay.
Yes, I need y'all to see.
So
the
per
spark.
usual, we have something playing in the background, and something funny just happened on the TV, y'all. But
speaking of my love for him, you go ahead and ask us about.
Yeah, I was just about to segue into Rhythm and Groove because this is like related, but not. I have this is a serious question. I don't care. Do you feel that having a bunch of kids is irresponsible?
Oh my God. On today. Is Essence Fest held in July? Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Why?
Because I just feel like it's irresponsible on many different levels, especially in today's time, in today's economy. I don't see it. Like, no disrespect to the people who got a lot of kids. Hey, do y'all thing. But as for me, and my uterus, and my wallet, and my mental health,
yeah,
absolutely not. Like, I just feel like it's so irresponsible, and it does your children a disservice, let alone you and your partner. Because I believe, for you to sit there and have that many kids, there's something missing that you feel like you can't fulfill yourself, or is not being fulfilled of why you got to have all these kids. 2, I just feel like financially it's just irresponsible, because at some point, you know, when these kids have to go to college, when they have to go to high school, when they need different things, you know, it's a lot, you know, like when it's time to buy cars and all of that stuff, like it becomes a lot. Like, if you and your spouse are not well-to-do financially, and even if you are, things change, times change, prices go up, savings go down. I mean, things happen, and I just feel like it's a lot, especially in the aspect of them all being like stair step kind of kids. Like I think that'd be a lot. It's different when I think, like for example, my sister had 2 kids. By the time she had the other 2 kids, it was because she had gotten married a second time, and her older kids were already, you know, young adult. I mean, not young adults, but they were preteen age. You know what I'm saying? They were young. They were old enough to be a help around the house. Like she wasn't, you know, when I look at some people and they be like 5 and 6 kids under 7, like, are you crazy? How?
5 and 6 kids under 7? Absolutely not.
It's absolutely crazy. I just couldn't do it. Like I said, it's not a knock on people who choose to, because once again, that's not my wallet. That ain't my uterus. I'm gonna mind my business. You mind yours. But I couldn't. I think, you know, 2 or 3 maybe is cool. You know, and sometimes it gets a little muddy when you're talking about people having multiples. Because you know, you can think this is about to be my 3rd child, and you can turn around and have triplets, and then, you know, now it could be your 5th, or, you know, you could be 5 in, or you could have twins and be, you know, 4 deep before you know it. And I understand that, you know what I'm saying? We can't control that.
New fear unlocked.
But at some point in time, like, and that's one of the things that I think about all the time. Like my great grandmother has multiple children. She had her first kid at like 17, 18. When she turned around, when it was time for her to have her second child at 19. Now, granted, this is in the 1940s. She had her second child. She thought she was having her second child at 19. She literally had my aunt, and the doctor was like, "Lay back down, baby. You got another baby coming." And she like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "This entire time you was pregnant with twins," and she did not know. This is once again in the 1940s. The technology wasn't the same. She said everybody in her little town in Mississippi kept making fun of her while she was pregnant, because they was like, "We ain't seen a woman that big ever." Like they said she was so big, and she didn't understand why. She just thought she was having a big baby. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have enough technology to tell why. And she literally instantly went from 1 to 3 at 19. Like, I just couldn't imagine that. And you got a husband that ain't doing right because y'all young, and y'all done got married because y'all young, and y'all done had a baby. Not because y'all were ready to be married, but because this is what everybody told y'all should do. So now you dealing with his mess. Right. Now you got 3 kids. And she literally said she was scared to bring 2 babies home, because he was already upset that she was pregnant with the second time.
And that's mad at me.
And I was about to say that's a whole nother conversation, because men will see their wives that they're actively hunching on every day, every other day, using no protection. And when this lady turn up pregnant, you be like, I don't know. I mean, you know, we can't have no other baby right now, sir. But what was we doing last Tuesday through Thursday? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. What do you expect?
I know of a situation like that, and that's always incredibly disheartening to hear a woman be chastised and condemned for participating in an action that most people
in marital activities with her husband, and she's now having the consequence of that, which is I'm pregnant. And I ain't even talking about,
but she didn't make this baby by herself.
And I'm not talking about the ones that's, like we said, I ain't talking about, and it ain't never the men that's 6 and 7 babies deep. It's the ones that's baby number 2, baby number 3. They like, oh my God. But
this was baby number 2 for them too.
Yes, it's never the
baby
ones.
Number 2 for him.
It's never the ones that got a whole lot. It's never the ones. It's just, you see the men who got a whole lot of kids, and they wives be like, my husband wants some more kids. Like, get off of that woman. Yeah. They're okay with it. It's the men that y'all have 1 or 2 kids, and they like, But I think that's also an indication of something deeper that a lot of people don't look at. It's like, we got 1 kid, and you now scared for us to have another one, and we're married, and we got all these resources. What is there that you're trying to avoid? Like,
it's
what
that
is
aspect.
it?
But even coming at somebody like that, knowing that it takes 2 to tango, that shows to me a lack of respect and a lack of maturity.
Yes.
Because what the like, why would you even fix your mouth to ask somebody or to blame someone for getting pregnant? Like, that's not how sex works. It also taps into the misunderstanding of the human anatomy.
But I was about to say in women's bodies.
Yeah, the misunderstanding of women's bodies, because you also have grown men who think that a woman can control the outcome of her being taken advantage of.
Or not only that, the outcome of just, they don't even understand their bodies. Like some men be so freaked out, like how you get pregnant. Like, you know, pre-cum is active sperm, right? Like
this is why we need health ed in school, everyone. We need health ed. And we need these honest conversations to not just be happening in the school, but also at home around the aspects of the human body, how all of this works, what's appropriate, what's not, what's considered consent and what's not.
And I think to double back with that, coupled with the initial topic of having a lot of kids, you see a lot of that now where the men are so eager to break this 6-week rule. And then when the woman gets pregnant again, it's like, oh my God, how?
Because
they done told
they don't understand.
And that's another thing is, I think it's men don't understand their own bodies, but you're sitting up here and it's usually the men that run through the most bodies that don't understand a woman's body, that don't understand a female's anatomy of how that works, or just back to what I was saying earlier about the emotional or what we were saying about last episode about the emotional fulfillment of, if you take care of me, I will be more open to you sexually. Right. Like men don't even understand women enough to like, okay, this is an ovulation period. This is this. Like they don't even understand how period work, let alone childbirth and postpartum and all these other things. And then they turn around and be like, you got pregnant? Yes.
Yes, because that is possible and that is how the body works. So the reason why I asked this question is because last episode, I talked about going to the East Coast for my grandmother's homegoing. And I think of this often because I just have questions that it's like, how was this even a thing? But it's the reality of so many people. My grandmother birthed 12 children on her own. 12 of those kids came from her womb.
That's so crazy to me.
So it's crazy to me too. And it made me think, looking at her children and looking at the way that they interact with each other and some of them lack thereof, like it just made me feel like, dang, this kind of irresponsible. Yeah. Like, and it's the reality of so many of our families. Like, it wasn't uncommon for people to have that many children back in those days. But when I asked my dad, like growing up, my dad wasn't really close to his mom. And I was trying to figure out why, because for my mom as a primary parent, it just seemed so unlikely, like to me. Like, why don't you have a close relationship with your mother? Like his mom, she came over from Jamaica in the 90s. And prior to that, apparently she lived like a ways away from where they were from originally in Jamaica. So they really didn't see her all that often. But even when she moved here, she always lived on the East Coast. Yeah. My dad always lived in Detroit. So he wasn't frequently going to go see his mom like that or anything like that, which again just seems, unlikely. So I asked him one day, I was like, you don't like your mama or something? That's what I said to him. And he said, no. He said, why you say that? And I said, because the relationship just seems like it's not there. And he goes on to tell me that his mom was a great woman. He's like, no, my mom is a very good woman. And I was like, well, how come she didn't raise y'all? Yeah. Because he and one of his favorite sisters, they were raised together. And they were raised by their grandmother. And he said, because he said, my mom, she always worked and she needed help. He said, but I saw her all the time. She would bring us food and, bring money, bring, groceries, stuff like that. He said, but she couldn't afford to not work. And she had 2 children. Now, they're 2 of the oldest. Yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, she had already had another kid before them. I think is she 1 or 2? She either had 1 or 2 children prior to my dad and his sister. So it's like, okay, you already got these kids and you just keep having them. Different dads. Granted, I'm not here to shame anybody.
Yeah.
But the reality is that they did not grow up with, they didn't have it like that. They came from rural Jamaica, like where you may meet or see people with no shoes on because it's just not in the budget.
Yeah.
So to me, like at some point, it becomes a question of, is this a responsible choice? Now, granted, back then we know they didn't have the options that they have now.
Yeah.
And things were just different. But to birth 12 children, the aspects of this that I'm thinking about is, as a parent, I don't feel like I can really know my children if I have that many of them.
Absolutely not.
Because life is full of wonderful things, but life is also a business if you think about it.
Absolutely not. And I think that's why I have such an aversion to that, because I didn't come from that. Like, totally opposite. My mom is the only child. My dad is the oldest of 4. My grandmother had 4 or 5 siblings. My grandfather had 4 or 5 siblings. Like, that's the most, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't, like, those large numbers didn't come. Like, it was really weird. We never had that. Even like my great grandparents, my great grandmother, I think she was one of like 5 or 6 kids too. Like, she didn't even, like, when you go back further in generations, my other great grandmother, she had 4 siblings. My great grandfather was the only child. I don't come from a line where anybody really came from more than 4 or 5 children. You know what I'm saying? At max. Like,
so total of all my dad's siblings, there were 17 of them.
yeah, see, no.
That's
crazy.
between my dad's father and his mother.
Yeah.
17 of them collectively. She birthed 12 of those children. Again, there's a business aspect to our lives, right? So you have to be responsible for yourself, your finances, how the flow of the show, how all of this goes. It is incredibly difficult to make sure that all ends are met from every aspect of life, and then also have that many children. Like, granted, that's where the village comes in, the village that we're losing.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of grannies, they not the same grannies that we had back in the day.
We're not. But
that would take your 2 children in and raise them.
But you got to think about it. All of this is a part of that evolution. Back to what we talked about last week on last week's episode. Granny was able to take care of them grandkids and stuff back then because granddaddy was paying the bills and granny was living off or living off his pension, or she had a house that was paid for. Nowadays, these grannies don't have that. They was that different generation that left the man. So a lot of them is sitting around. They working still to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they working hard and they working until they can't work no more. They don't have the same type of situations and living situations that they had before, because now they're single women. These ain't, we going to grandmama house and it's really granddaddy and grandmama house and we going to visit and so we could be raised here. This is, my grandmama got to get up and go to work just like my mama do.
Yeah. This is like, the points are being made and I get all of that. But the thing it's a few things that's like disheartening for me. Is for me right now, as her legacy, trying to piece together this whole picture, but then understanding that she had my father and my aunts from this one, situation that she had with my grandfather, right? Mm-hmm. She already had a child prior to that, or 2. I can't remember who's the oldest, but I know for a fact she had a daughter. She's the oldest. And then she turned around and had a whole nother batch of kids with a different man. And, I feel like those children, like, did they feel a little left out? Mm-hmm. Because even the response to, her passing, I felt like it was like, well, maybe this was because they respected her as their mama, but they also really didn't have a relationship with her because she didn't technically raise them.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Talking with my cousin, she's like, yeah, she came over from Jamaica when she was about 15 or 16. She said, yeah, well, back in the day, grandma lived, a ways away from us. She said, so she said, even coming here and living on the East Coast with her in the same house at some point, she never felt like she knew her.
And I think to take it a step further, it tends to happen more often than not, especially, I mean, it happens a lot with people, period, but it happens a lot, like you're saying, with immigrant families, because you'll have the mother or the father that moves away to secure a better life for them. But in the midst of securing that better life, we're all humans, and that need for love and companionship comes in. And so you might have left, you might have came and had this job, but when you get off, you want to lay next to somebody, and then you're in, and I'm not saying it's a deceptive thing, but you then told this person, well, I got to send for my kids. They back at home with my mama, with my sister, with my so-and-so. I got to go get them. But by the time you get the money up to get them the way you want to, more than likely, because of your immigrant status, y'all don't have health care and access to a lot of stuff. So now she pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, now y'all got another baby that's coming. Now y'all done had that baby. Now here we go. Y'all got 2 babies. And y'all like, oh, well, now we got to adjust to having these 2 kids. And we still got to go back and get these other ones. You know what I'm saying? And your other kids are growing away from you in this other land, and they're living and they're seeing you, and you know how people be, and by the time they get word from your cousin or somebody, or your daddy that had another baby and they living fabulous, and you done cocked this story in your mind that he just left us here, he don't care about us, you know what I'm saying, or my mama just left us here, she don't care about us, and then when they finally send for them and they come over here, it's like, you my mama, thank you for sending for me. And the idea is never really to form a relationship, it's to now just be in America. You know what I'm saying? And you usually see those kids with those parents, what they do when they finally get over here. Once they do get 18, 19, they go to work or they go to college, and they separate from the family, because it's like me and my mama didn't really have no relationship anyway. So my first opportunity to go and start my own life, I'm going to do it.
And honestly, I feel like that was a reality for my father, because my father was the only one that ever lived here in Detroit. And as far as I know, nobody ever even came to visit my dad until he got sick. And that also is disheartening to me, but it's also a testament to, or it poses the question still, what kind of relationship did y'all have as siblings? Because it complicates the relationships that can be fostered between siblings. It complicates the proximity of the relationship that you have with those children, because you're not about to sit up here and tell me that you know all of your kids.
Well, not only that, you got to think about it. It fosters and it breeds resentment in a way, because if I know my mom has had 12 kids and I'm the one who stayed close by to her geographically, and she gets sick, now I got to be the one to take care of. Now every time mama need me to go to the store, I got to be the one to go. You in California, you in Texas, you here, you're there. Mama can't call y'all for stuff, but mama calling me. So what it usually falls on is that child that has stayed there and essentially gave up their life to take care and devote it to that parent, or just be there, period, because now they scared that they don't want to leave their mama or their daddy behind to be by themselves. They always hold this resentment towards their siblings and eventually their parents, because it becomes this, I didn't even get to live the life I wanted to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the purpose? And then you looking at it like, you had all these kids, and whenever I needed something, you were sending money to your grandkids across the country and all this other stuff. But I'm the one sitting here taking care of you. Like,
I mean, it's a multi-layered thing. So I do feel that, I feel like it does depend on whether it's responsible or well, no, I feel like it is.
I don't think it's responsible at all.
There's a aspect of irresponsible action. No matter how you look at it.
Absolutely.
Because say that you have these kids, you're financially well, you're not asking anybody for anything. Cool. You know, resource wise, financially, you got it. So that part of the economic, part of it, cool. But you got the emotional and the relationship building part of it. Children need a rearing that follows them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's incredibly difficult to do that when you have 100 kids.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can't know them kids to the
even
core.
if you and your husband made all this money and y'all was at home and y'all didn't work and y'all worked from home and y'all had the availability to do everything, if you hypothetically got 7 kids, how are y'all making this happen on after school pickups? If y'all got kids and extracurricular activities, who picking up the kids? First of all, what kind of vehicle y'all got to hold all these kids and all y'all at the same time?
Okay, because the price goes up.
Bingo. Who picking up all of these kids? Who's about to come home and make a meal for 9 people? Like, I wonder it's a lady, it's a black couple that I love. I think they actually have 9 kids.
I think I know who you talk about. Is the wife light skin?
No, she's the brown skin lady. She got dreads, and they call themselves I think their last name is Cade, but they live in Alabama, and I think there's like 9 of them or 10 of them, and she's pregnant right now. And her husband, like, and it's different in this day and age, because it's like this day and age, you have all them kids, you better become a content creator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can stay at home and you can make the money. It makes sense. But I'm talking about in the 80s, 90s, that didn't make no sense. It still also really don't make a lot of sense now to me, but it makes sense when you have that kind of platform, you have the ability to do that. Whereas like before you doing all of this, when I watch her, when she like, oh, I'm about to do a quick meal, when she has to pick up fast food for her family for dinner, she picks up catering meals. Like, she goes to Chipotle, and I didn't even know Chipotle had, they got catering, you can get 2 proteins, and she has to set up these big tables because she has 9 children, she's pregnant, and I think at least 4 of her children are like teenage boys.
No.
There's no way in the hell.
Not for me.
One night out for fast food, she said, was like $160 because they had to get like 3 catering trays from Moe's. Yeah. That's how they have to eat, and that is unreal to me.
That's just the financial part of it, you know, and it's deep on multiple layers. It's just like, I kept telling my cousin, like, there's no way that they could have known her at the core and she could have known them. And even when, like, I'm asking questions about her personality and, like, you know, because people get old, like,
yeah,
you know, I feel like times change. Obviously we all evolve, right?
Yeah.
What was your mom like when she was younger? Strict. They said they went to church, they went to school, they came home. That was their schedule between. That's the younger batch that she had with her husband, right? Younger batch of children. That was their flow of the show. And they are real church kids. They were brought up in a church culture. This is why this is so interesting to me. My dad, I can't tell you a time when my dad went to church, or even, we've never even talked about church. He just wasn't, he was a very spiritual person, but he was not heavy into church culture at all. Yeah. You can tell that there was a drastic difference between how they were raised versus how he was raised. And they told me that when I was there. They were like, oh, yeah, like, yeah, you know, it's because your dad was raised by his dad's side of the family. And so it was a completely different setup.
Yeah.
They all have this common foundation of respect, because this is my parent. This is my mother. She brought me into this world. I respect her as my mother. Yeah. But I feel and I wonder if my dad ever had some sort of resentment towards his mom, and also if that trickled over into his relationships and how he handled other women based off of the lack of connection, true connection that he had with his mom. And it's like you just can't have it at that close of proximity. I don't believe you have that many children.
You can't.
It puts a strain on everything, and it's unfair to them. It's also unfair to the parents too.
Very much
because
so.
It's very. I would be.
But
overstimulated
I was about
personally.
to say, but you have to realize too, in the shift, we're, as millennials of this age, we're fortunate enough to have both sides of things. We were able to see things when they were, you know, extremely one way, and now we're trying to conform to now the world being extremely a different way. You know what I'm saying? And it's different because, we didn't grow up. We people our age make jokes on social media about, I remember I told my mom I was depressed and she told me to go depress them damn dishes. Like,
No,
we didn't grow
for
up
real,
in the
though.
era of people caring about their mental health. So therefore, because I don't think we ever thought about it like this, but our parents didn't believe in us having things like that because they didn't believe in it themselves, because for them, they didn't have time or room to be depressed. It was, I have 4 or 5 kids and I'm trying to figure this out. I have 2 kids and I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Our parents went through different stuff. So I think it was a lot different because they looked at it like a necessary evil. It's like, oh, I got kids, I'm supposed to struggle. So I think that when they were having, that generation was having 5 and 6 and 7 kids, they looked at it like, shit, struggling is a part of being a parent. Whereas we've grown up differently, where we like, parent or not, I ain't got to struggle. That don't have to be my plot in life. So if I'm going to have one kid, or if I want to wait till I'm 45 to have that kid, I should be okay to do that because I don't want to struggle. They didn't feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like they just felt like we said, I'm supposed to love my parent. I'm supposed to take care of my kids. I'm supposed to just provide the bare minimum. So they didn't look at it like, oh, I'm having all these kids and it's affecting the quality of parenting that I can provide, because they was looking at it like, I'm putting a roof over their head. They eat that night.
Yeah.
They got clothes. We good. I'm a parent. And
we
they didn't think about themselves in the how they were stressed out. They thought it was okay to, I'm supposed to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just a way of life. And nobody looked at it like we deserve better, especially for Black parents in marginalized communities. It was like, this is a part of what we go through. So they didn't look at it like, well, damn, if all these kids, I'm not able to pour into the other kids. It was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm able to feed them. I'm good. I don't need much. I got a job. My kids is behaving. That was enough for them. It wasn't like, I'm supposed to be happy with my quality of life. But we also seen that as, once again, piggybacking to last week, of why I'm okay with my husband being the bare minimum, long as he pay the bills, and long as I got somebody coming on the side to provide that actual passion. That's okay, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Life ain't supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be fair. So therefore, I got a good man. He paying the bills, even though I don't like the way he's doing this. We ain't sexually compatible. He talks to me like he crazy. He get drunk on Friday and hit me. I don't care about that stuff, because a man gonna be a man.
Yeah.
And long as these bills is paid, I feel like as a woman who don't got to pay no bills, the least I could do is pay a little bit of ass tax, meaning let him tax my ass and hitting me, and just giving him a little bit on Thursday and Friday nights so he don't get mad. Like, nobody thought that was wrong. Like, people just thought that was okay to go along to get along. So that's why they didn't even care about their mental health enough to think, I don't need to have all these kids so I can give more of myself to my kids.
Yeah, no, that's the part that I'm glad that we are experiencing as a generation, is being able to, and social media is good for this too, showcasing different ways of life that are possible for us, and understanding that we can have what we desire. We can have children and not, struggle. And it is important, so that helps us to expand our knowledge on the fact that it is important for children to experience a great quality of life, and for us to put ourselves in a position to provide that beyond the bare minimum and beyond the bare necessities that are included in parenthood. When you keep increasing them numbers,
yes,
on the kids, it makes it difficult to do so. Don't get me wrong, and I've heard this from several parents. They said, like, when you have a kid, like, it's really true that God really provides, like, for the children. And I get, and sure. I believe that.
But
I wholeheartedly believe that. But
you still got to do your due diligence.
Like, you still have a responsibility for those children, and to offer your best self to those children in multiple aspects of life. And a huge part of that is making sure that you're instrumental and getting to know and truly raise a child.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't scratch raising a child, getting to know and truly raise a human and understanding what that looks like, and understanding that it does entail you. For me, like, I want to be involved with my kids throughout their adulthood too. Like,
yes, absolutely.
we should be able to get on the phone, and I want to be so close with my kids that they feel comfortable talking to me about anything.
Yeah.
I could hop on the phone and we could chop it up and say, hey, yeah, what's going on? Well, this happened today and this is and the third. You come to me for solutions. You can tell people what my personality is, what's going to make me tick, what's going to make me happy. Same thing, and I can do the same because I know you that well.
Yeah.
You can't have, well, you could. I don't know how. It seems very unlikely that someone with that many kids can do that. And I've seen it play out with the way that my family is set up now on my dad's side, and how even their relationships with some of them, they are so strained.
Yeah,
like, they don't talk to each other like that.
The responsibility starts to fall on the other kids to bridge the gap between each other and the parents. And it's kind of like, well, if I know you more, when mama want to do something, I need to talk to her and tell her what you need because she ain't gonna know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or because we not close, me and you might be close, and then our older brother, he might be mad about this, and I might have to explain to him that this is why this is you doing this, because, and it's too much. Like, I think it creates more labor than it needs to be. Like, it creates it's a lot of confusion, and I wouldn't want to, just walk into that.
It definitely creates more layers. And I'm gonna say this, and because this has been such a good talk and we can move forward, I'm gonna say that people also have to be cognizant of the legacies that they are bringing into the lineage. Because it took for my father to transition for me to start to build more fruitful relationships with this side of the family. This is the most that I've talked to everyone collectively. Now, I've had my aunts and my cousins that I've always been in contact with, that I have true relationships with. But prior to my dad getting sick, I had never even met some of my uncles that I have met since he's transitioned. That was my first time being alone with that side of the family a couple weeks ago. And that's the part where it's like, I was talking to my uncle when my dad was in the hospital, and he was like, we have to do a better job at remaining connected. And I was like, oh, I'm thinking it was just my dad that wasn't, as connected, because again, none of them had ever come to visit or anything. So he said, no, he said, it's like that with this family in general. Like, we don't keep in contact the way that we should. Well, I guess not. If it was, as many of us collectively as it is y'all, I guess it wouldn't be that way. And that is also an attest to the responsibility of life. You know, they branch off. They have their own wives, families, their own children. They have their own responsibilities. I get it. But, now the responsibility is on us. It's on the younger generation now it's my responsibility to travel and reach out and bridge the gap and ask the questions that I didn't get to ask my dad because he didn't have this relationship with his parents and with his siblings. He didn't really know all of them like that. They were raised in two totally different countries. Let's be real. Like,
and it happens, and I know
it's a lot. So I'm glad that we could have that conversation. That was really truthful. And if you want to know more about my family, you can find out in my book. I'm just kidding. One day I'm going to write a book, though. I don't know when.
I need to write one, but it ain't going to be about my family. It's about to be about all this other ghetto stuff that be happening in my life.
It might be about my family. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you, because it's really my family, juicy stories.
Well, I got a lot of them, too, but that's why I can't write the book, because I ain't going to hold back. I'm telling it like it is, and I'm telling my perspectives on it, and they ain't going to be happy.
You're going to have to get an anonymous pen name. Pen name.
Yeah.
What would your pen name be?
I can't tell y'all. And then I can't. And then really,
because then they gonna know it's you.
Yeah, it's gonna know it's me.
You got one loaded up though, don't you?
Sure do. and I got, man, you know how many books I could write just on one or two cousins.
The real lady whistle down.
Listen, I'm telling everybody business. Okay,
I'm telling it all. Well, I have a question for the Delicious Dive. If you could have everything you want in the world, anything you desire, under one condition, you have to eat the worst foods possible for your entire life. Would you take that opportunity?
Absolutely not.
Or would you pass?
Hell
okay,
no.
so you said no.
No. Mm-mm.
Someone asked me this, and I did not have, because I was trying to think of a way to get around that. Like, there's got to be some loophole in this. But if that was the circumstance, it's going to be a no for me too, dog.
First of all, you talking about the worst foods possible. All they got to do is slide a bowl of black-eyed peas in front of me, and I'm already fucking quitting. Okay?
Yeah, that's going to be one of your foods.
Out. Black-eyed peas.
All the foods that you hate.
Not.
This is a perfect question for you, too, because I know your palate.
Absolutely
and what you
not.
don't like.
And what
you can't have. So you got to have the worst foods possible. I'm going to say no, too. Also, and I feel like this also showcases, it's a couple things, but first and foremost, I thought about the fact that food is such a staple in our human experience. It's a part of our architecture as humans, and it's part of our culture, you know, to be able to have good food, at least in my family. Like, learning how to cook is a rite of passage. Learning these recipes from generations and generations and bringing them, you know, to the forefront to have a meal, that's important.
Yeah.
So if you telling me that I can't have this experience of being able to cook, prepare, and enjoy the foods that I desire, I think I'm gonna have to pass on that.
I cannot.
I think I'm gonna have to be like,
no.
But dang, it's hard though, because it's like you can have anything in the world, but even if you hire a world-class chef, your favorite person, they still are going to make the foods that you hate. Worst foods ever. Chitlins for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any fucking thing pork. Like, I wouldn't even... Girl, I remember I cussed a girl out when I used to work at State Farm, because she used to go get pork bacon and sit next to me and eat it. And by day 2, I was like, you're going to have to move. She was like, but I'm trying to eat my breakfast. And that's my point. You're going to have to move because it smells like a pig's ass and you got to get the hell on.
You like, have to smell of bacon.
I can't do pork the smell of nothing. Like, I don't want to go nowhere with nobody frying no pork chops, no sausage, no bacon, no none of that. I can't. It stinks.
The smell of pork doesn't bother me. Like, if somebody is cooking it, the smell of beef does. Like I don't know if it's the fat, the oils. Like, I can smell.
Oh yeah, probably so.
When they're cooking it. I don't like that. But like smelling bacon, that don't really bother me. Not too much. But I can see how, because I feel that same way about beef. But yeah, that was my question for the Delicious Dive. What do y'all think? I would love for y'all to sound off in our comments. Like, I'm curious to know, could you eat the worst foods for the rest of your life in exchange for you to be able to have whatever your heart desires? That's the only trade-off. You got to eat the worst of the worst foods.
Nope. Can't even do it. I'm so picky about
food. You know how
food.
in shape I be?
I'm so picky about food.
About it.
Like, I just can't even.
You talk about cut up. Like
I'm the kind of person that will complain
water
about food, and I will go somewhere and they will have a whole spread of food, and I will look at it, or it will smell like something I don't want to eat, and I will not eat, and I will leave the function and go somewhere else. I stop at a drive-thru and get me something that I for sure know is good, like, because I'm one of the people that if I don't know how it tastes, I don't even want to taste it, because once I get that taste on my palate once
you
again,
can't get rid of it,
and then my face is always gonna tell you, like, my face be turned up so quick, I be like,
yeah, no,
like,
I understand.
Like
See,
I'm so
I
petty.
feel that way about oysters.
I'm so petty that I will ask my cousin. So some Saturdays after church, we have a food ministry. I used to cook for the food ministry. When I used to cook, I used to eat every
You
Saturday.
used to have wear a hairnet?
Nah, we wasn't doing all that. I used to cook at home and take the food to the church, and we used to just serve.
Okay.
But
I thought you was like those old ladies that be there with their glasses on and a hairnet.
I cook all my shit at home, and then I just take it.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, I would eat all the time when I was cooking food ministry. Now that I don't cook, before they even bring the food out, I always look at my cousin and I say, "What's on the menu?" And if she tell me something I know I for sure don't want, I beeline it up out of there. Okay, I don't even stay around to talk to my granny and them. I get up out of there because I don't want y'all asking me, because I don't know who cooked the food. So I don't want nobody asking me, "You want some?" And I'll be like, "Mm-mm." Now, like when certain people cook, I stay because I know it's gonna be good. But if other people cook and I ain't sure about it, or if it's something that I just know for sure I don't want, I move it along. Because people be trying to get too creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm gonna give y'all this new recipe. No, this is not the time to try nothing new.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I am not a potluck
Oh,
girly.
absolutely not a potluck
I don't
person.
like, honestly, I don't like eating meals from people that I don't know or trust.
That too.
Like, I just don't. And
Well, see,
like, I wouldn't make a big fuss about something, like, but my friends will typically tell me if we're going to like a potluck situation or whatever, like, I don't know, like, I'm just a little iffy about it for different reasons, and maybe we can get into it, because it's not just about the way that the food tastes, but also the energy.
Well, that
over the
too.
food.
I would say that too, and then too, I don't eat at nobody's house who kitchen I ain't never been in. Like, I need to know how your kitchen look. If you don't clean your kitchen, like, I feel like it should be clean.
Yeah.
Because a lot of germs and mold and mildew and shit is airborne. I don't fuck around. Like, if your kitchen ain't clean, it's nothing. You couldn't even make me a bowl of cereal in your kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna eat it.
No, that's real, because you'll be surprised how some people be living. And
if you got a cat, it's a hell no. I'm not eating at your house ever.
Listen, let me tell you.
I'm not eating at your house if you got a cat.
One day at this job that I used to work at that should remain undisclosed, we were having a conversation amongst coworkers, and one of the coworkers felt encouraged to share that she had 8 cats in her home. And to my knowledge, she didn't even live in a house. I don't care where you live. If you eight cats actively living in this house, she lived in an apartment. I said, "Oh yeah, no, never eating anything from you, ever."
Listen,
I don't care. Like, and maybe your house is clean and immaculate, but in my mind, I'm just thinking, like, dang, you got 8 cats up in there. Like, somebody be on that counter.
Ain't no way your house clean and immaculate with 8 cats. I don't care what you say, because them cats is moving. You not watching. You don't have them.
You can't.
You don't have all 8 of them in a line following you all around the house, knowing what they doing at all times of the day. There is no way.
Which brings us back to our initial conversation about
your kids. You don't know what they doing.
You don't know what
they doing. You too busy. That's what I'm saying. If you a mother of 10 and you got 4 kids in the house with you, and your oldest kid is running the streets, you don't know what they doing, because you in the house, you got a baby on your titty, you changing some other diapers, you got too much going on.
It is difficult.
You cannot keep up,
and
kids. No,
it's difficult to manage that many.
Absolutely.
Children. And it's difficult to manage that many cats. And so, yeah, I'm not.
And like you said, I have a vision of a cat hopping up on the counter and sticking a paw in like a pot and just stirring
right in the dressing.
Just stirring it. You know what I'm saying? Like some soup or like some gravy or something. Just nasty paw.
Now you got cat hair all
and
in
they
the
licking
food.
it and put it back in there. Just
licking
nasty.
on the spoons. You just don't know. You know. So I understand that 1,000%. And I'm not a potluck kind of person as it is. But I'm trying to think, like, yeah, we didn't really eat a lot of food from the church, not for real.
I mean,
the few times that we did go to church.
Let's preface it with, this is my family church, so it's different. So I do know these people, but even still, some of my family members that I know,
I did not know
that don't cook.
I didn't know all of them.
Yes, pretty much.
And some of them
off because I told you, some of my sides of the family, I got a whole lot of cousins. They have a whole lot of kids too. So that's how I know how that turns out. Cause I be seeing it, but it's a lot of them, and I know the ones that can't cook. That's why I asked who cooked it. I know the ones who can, who can't. I know the ones who don't clean up like they supposed to. I know the ones who got pets. I know the ones who do this and this and this. So I can easily say no.
You know, it's so interesting. My parents are the ones that people trust to cook. So growing up, people would ask like, "Oh, Angie cooked it. Okay, cool."
Yes, I'm about to say that's
and most of my legit call my dad to like cook. Like he would cook, like cater food for people.
Yeah, most of my family is like that.
Cook so well. Yeah. Oh, they cooked it. Okay, cool. Like we straight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fortunate to be gang, to be part of the crew that is trusted. But yeah, that's interesting. Anything for counsel and confessions today?
No, not today. I don't think I've done any more bad stuff that I need to talk about.
Let me think on this, and next episode I may feel encouraged to share with you all.
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here like I really want some whipped feta.
Dang.
I don't know why
that would be really good.
I
put my homegirls on.
Speaking of delicious dive, so really quick, you have to go to Kava if you have not been yet.
I have not been.
They got some pita chips that's out cold.
Yeah, we could have went today.
And when I'm talking about them pita chips, it's crazy good. And when we went the other day, you could get some that's spicy or you could get some that's regular. And Mike was like, them pita chips would be so good with that whipped feta. Because it's like a soft...
Mike, don't give her no...
It's like a soft, pillowy pita chip. It's like soft, but it's like fresh. Like they make them fresh to order right then. And it's like bread, but it's not as small as like a chip, you know? It's just a little bit bigger. And I feel like you could take some of that whipped feta and like spread it on top.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great.
I think I'm going to do that. I just got a full tank of gas too. I could definitely go do that.
Got a quarter tank of gas.
I would go all the way to Ferndale and pick up this whipped feta, and then I would come all the way back to Canton and go to Kava just to get some pita chips.
Well, if you decide to do that, let us know on the next segment of the Delicious Dive how that turned out.
Because
I definitely want to try the lamb bowl at Kava. Sounds like something I'm definitely into. I have looked at the menu. I just haven't been to the restaurant yet. Maybe we can get them to sponsor us.
Who? Anita's Kitchen?
Both. Anita's Kitchen and Kava. Speaking that into existence.
Oh, my God.
Well,
I'm sorry, y'all. My family, I'm checking a family group text while we finishing up. And my family is on their way to a family reunion. And they keep texting the group text. And they all in the car together. And it's just so funny. Because, like, why y'all texting?
Well... Tell us all about the text thread in our next episode. So come back to find out what Tash family was talking about in their text thread on the way to their reunion. And
I don't know when they gonna make it to the reunion because they just said they just stopped at the casino. That's what I'm laughing about. In Arkansas, girl.
Well, that's gonna be lit.
They just stopped at the casino.
I want to go to a rodeo in Arkansas. I feel like that's where the Black Cowboys been at. And I just want to go see.
I got a lot of family in Arkansas, but I think a lot of the fine ones be in like North Carolina or South Carolina. That's what I've been seeing.
I seen a rodeo in Arkansas.
Based on TikTok,
they had a black rodeo, and I was like, "Dang, that looked like fun."
Yeah, they have a lot of people, like a lot of black people. There's a lot of black cowboys in I don't know what city that is, but in North Carolina they have a lot of them too.
Well,
and then what's his name played for the Panthers, so.
Oh, that's South Carolina. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
So, I mean, I just feel like why not?
Yeah,
I know he got a cousin or somebody with some similar genetics.
Well, we also want to know the tea about the reunion. Who got into it with who don't get along with who.
You know what? On this side of the family, they don't even do all of that. That's the crazy part. Like, ain't nobody going, like, if anybody get into it, it'll be somebody with an outsider. Like, somebody will bring somebody to the reunion and they'll get into it with one of my cousins and it'll be something like that. But this side of the family, and I will say that, like, stuff be happening, but it never be amongst us. Like, one of my nephews got arrested the night my sister got married, but it wasn't because of nothing that happened at the wedding. Like, he left the wedding and then he called us and was like, somebody come get me from jail. And it was a mistaken identity. Like, it wasn't
That's
even really
wild.
him, which is crazy because this is my nephew that y'all always hear me talk about. He had sickle cell, he had cystic fibrosis. He's so little. When you looked at the description of this man that they thought he was, the man was supposed to be like 5'9". Quan all of 5'4". Okay, they said this man was supposed to be like 150. Quan probably about 85 pounds with wet bricks in his pocket. Okay, like he's so little because he's sick. So it's crazy.
I would sue the pants off their ass too.
Yeah, oh, it was a whole ordeal. Like, my sister was losing it. Like, it was so crazy. And I vividly remember, like, we had got so drunk at the wedding, and my sister called and was like, "Can somebody come and help me go get Quan from the jail?" And I started screaming at Mike. I was like, cause Mike went with me to the wedding, and I was like, "Oh my God, get in the car. You need to go help me take my nephew, get my nephew from jail." And he was like, "Tasha, I don't know where I'm going. Like, we in Atlanta. What am I doing?" I was like, "Just follow the GPS." So I was supposed to be.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Mike.
That
sounds so overstimulated.
I was supposed to be like, and this is his first time like me. Like, he had met a lot of the family before, but at a wedding it brings out all this extended family. So people was like, "Oh, that's Roy's dad." You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a whole ordeal. We had such a good time at the wedding. We made it back to the house after the wedding. We was drunk, and then next thing you know, my sister called and was like, "Can you take me to go get Quan?" I'm like, "What?" And at first I was about to be like, "Why did you call me?" But I realized, like, our other sister just got married tonight. Like, you can't call her and ask her that, even though we all at her house. But then the way I think it was also the way we had parked the rental car, that it was like the last car in the driveway. So somebody was like, "Can you just take us?" So I made him drive. It was really overstimulating. I ain't gonna lie. Cause she was in the back seat cussing. People was calling her, asking about my nephew. Like, he was just in the car stuck. And I was like, "Drive us to the jail." And we had to go to like 3 different jails that night. It was all crazy because it was a lot. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out. And I'm glad that everybody is safe.
Yes.
Well, this has been another episode of The Soulful Stir. Follow us on all platforms. Well, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at The Soulful Stir. Tag us, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube. We are also on YouTube at The Soulful Stir. And if you have confessions, send us an email at thesoulfulstir@gmail.com.
Please.
If you have questions, you can also send us those questions to the same email.
Yes, or you can DM us on TikTok or DM us on Instagram, and we check them. We might not post consistently, but we do check these messages. It might not be every day, but we gonna check them before the next episode, and we'll address it. Yep. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, something you want us to talk about, send it to us. Let us know. If it comes along with some kind of media, forward us a reel. Ask us what we think about it. Just get into contact with us. I know y'all love the episode. Y'all miss when we are not here, but y'all are also a part of this community, and we need y'all to help us keep this content going. I mean, we could talk about stuff for days, but we try to give viewers or listeners a choice. So hey, reach out, let us know what y'all think.
Hit us up, let us know. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode. Over and out.